You're listening to Comic Reflections, episode 129. I'm your host, Nicholas Prom.
I'm Jeff Barnhart, mysterious emissary from a far, far distant galaxy.
Neat.
Yeah. You didn't know?
No. I learn new things about you all the time, every week, in fact. Comic Reflections is brought to you by Rhymes with Geek. You can find our show, plus plenty of other cool podcasts like Super Podcasto Magnifico, The All New Anti-Fanboy, and Faded Comics at rhymeswithgeek.com. And if you enjoy our show, please subscribe to us on either iTunes or Stitcher. So, today, boy, this episode, we've got some Marvel magic. Mm-hmm. And we'll lead things off with Tales to Astonish number 89. And the lead story is The Prince and the Power, written by Stan Lee with art by Wild Bill Everett. This is Prince Namor, the Submariner, and this is great.
Yeah, we have this servo robot was discovered by Atuma the Barbarian.
Yeah.
He wants to destroy Atlantis and especially Prince Namor.
Yeah. Atuma is one of Namor's greatest foes. He's excellent.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't want to hear Imperious Rex ever again, he says.
Neither do I, though.
Yeah. But then...
I like Namor, but I think that phrase is just...
Yeah. It doesn't even make sense. I'm Imperial King in Latin, so...
I can understand it being used mildly, but not like you say it out loud.
That's kind of like a title. It's
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
It's not clobbering time or...
Yeah, it's just weird.
I can't think of any... What other...
I feel like we visited this topic
Yes,
recently.
we have. All right. We have a badly drawn robot.
No, it's not that badly drawn.
Yes, it is.
No, Bill Everett's art on this is terrific. You're wrong. No, it's
the
design of the robot is clunky. That's what it is. The drawing is good.
Okay, I agree with that. Forgive me. So
I'm not going to let you bag on Bill Everett. So.
All right, so the robot's attacking Atlantis. Namor sends his people out, and he tells his advisor, take...
Lord of Ashti, right?
Yeah, I guess it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a Dorma, right?
The Lady Dorma.
Lady Dorma. Make sure she's safe. And, of course, she ignores him and stays.
Yeah.
So, the robot is super powerful.
Yeah. Now, it is a very clunky Republic Serials looking kind of robot, okay?
Yeah, I was disappointed with that.
But rendered very well. Namor's a really... You can see his power and all the fighting. I love it. He sends a school of sharks to fight the robot.
And it doesn't do anything.
But it makes a great panel.
Right. And the robot just smacks him around.
Yeah.
And he sends a sperm whale.
Yeah.
And the sperm whale swallows him.
The robot.
Yeah. The sperm whales, their throat is not that big.
Okay.
You couldn't swallow you or I.
Okay.
Well, not even that fat.
But again, it is a comic.
Yeah.
But Bill Everett was the creator of Namor, and from back in the Golden Age, and it's really nice to see him in strong form here in the Silver Age. Mm-hmm. Bill Everett had a long battle with alcoholism, and this is getting closer to the end of his career, and I think he has beaten it and sobered up, and he had a few years of quality work left in him, which is apparent here. It's very nice.
Okay. All right. So Namor sends octopi.
Yes.
And he's doing this because he doesn't think they're going to defeat the monster. He wants to slow it down so his people can escape. He finds Dorma. He's kind of ticked off. And so he sends her to get a projector. Mm-hmm. And so she starts projecting. Why? Well, Namor figures out early on that Atuma cannot make a robot like this because it's too powerful. So, it must be lost. So then, if it's lost, then someone's looking for it. So they project an image of it, I guess, in outer space or in the
and then the aliens who did lose it come and get it. Mm-hmm. And Atuma is spoiled.
Right.
So that's a pretty good plan.
Yeah, not bad.
And so Atuma's beaten, and yay.
Yeah. Poor Atuma. He's got to listen to Imperious Rex once again. At least.
So the backup feature, and it's the co-feature really, is the Incredible Hulk. And the story we've got to talk about today is, what is it? Then There Shall Come a Stranger. Now Stan Lee wrote this, and Gil Kane drew it. He had a very short run on the Hulk, but it's really terrific art.
I love what they said. Handle with Hulkitude, Stan, the Man Lee, and Gil Sugar Kane.
Yeah.
I love those.
Yes. And the Stranger, who is one of these, big cosmic characters in Marvel Comics, shows up. And so what's going on?
Hulk has just defeated Boomerang, and he's worn out, so...
He's Banner again.
Yeah.
And the Stranger comes along. He wants to, just out of nowhere, because he's a cosmic type character, he's talking to Banner, and he wants to use the Hulk to wipe the Earth clean so that he can rebuild the Earth and so it's all good and whatever.
Yeah, he's dissing Earth, we're too violent, blah, blah, blah.
Here's the thing,
at least we dress better, though.
The thing about the Stranger is, he wants to wipe clean the Earth because we're violent, but he's going to use the Hulk as his instrument of his destruction to do it.
Yeah.
So he's a hypocrite for one, and also he's got all this cosmic power. Why doesn't he just do it himself?
True. Jeff not know.
The answer is because it's a comic book, but also maybe he doesn't want to dirty his hands with it.
Right.
Even though by being, trying to manipulate the Hulk into doing this, his hands are dirty.
Right.
So
yeah, it's odd. Here's General Ross. With Betty Brant? And
Betty Brant works at the Daily Bugle. It's Betty Ross.
Betty Ross. Okay. That's why I was thinking Brant doesn't sound right.
Because it's not right.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, look at this. Gil Kane's really shines here. Look at how well he does these facial expressions of these characters.
Mm-hmm.
Really great.
Yeah.
One of the all-time greats in the comic book industry. Gil Kane.
Okay. Well, Rick Jones is here, and he wants to talk to General. And General doesn't really want to kill the Hulk, he's saying here, but he's got to because the Hulk is super dangerous, and he's right.
Well,
if I was president, either if I could not find a place where
you could imprison the Hulk,
or have like an island where you'll never go but leave, but you can't depend on that.
Right.
What are you going to do?
If you can't capture, control, or contain the Hulk, the answer is death.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I don't know, want to know if I want to control him.
But I'm just saying, well, these are the other,
right.
What are the choices you would possibly try to go through?
The only rational thing would be to destroy the Hulk. Okay. I know, it's not right, as in the Hulk is not meaning to do harm, but
he is a dangerous, uncontrollable force.
Right.
So that's a problem.
Who is easily angered.
Yes.
And
talk about moody.
Yeah. Right.
So, anyway. So the Stranger is doing all kinds of cosmic things and explaining his plan to Banner.
Yeah. Well, the General sends Rick Jones out to... Which, I guess teenagers can get on to secret military bases with ease back in those days.
Yeah. Oh, the 60s.
Yeah. I love the way there's a great panel. You have the super machines. He just calls it a machine. That the Stranger and increases the Stranger's power.
Okay.
And Bruce Banner is just floating in space. I've always liked that.
Sure. And the Stranger gets him mad and he turns into the Hulk.
Mm-hmm.
And the Hulk tries to fight the Stranger.
And he does a decent job, but
the Stranger can toss him around like a ragdoll with his cosmic powers.
Mm-hmm. And so he hypnotizes the Hulk. I'm not sure if it's hypnotized, but he makes the Hulk obey him. So then
he's going to send and destroy the world, I guess. Yeah. We're going to find out. Or not. We won't have the next issue. But
pretty cool, though.
Pretty cool storyline, and I love Gil Kane's art on the Hulk. I think he only did a handful of Hulk stories or issues, so that's kind of a rare treat to see him work on that character.
The Stranger's not one of my favorite villains.
No, he's a big deal, but he's
kind of like a a cheaper version of Galactus or something.
Yeah, and he's kind of one of those characters, like Galactus or Thanos or the Living Tribunal, or I can go on, because there's a lot of characters like that. They serve to be this, holy crap, what are we going to do? This unstoppable, beyond our scope of power kind of guy, and they just kind of fit that role. It's just there's multiple characters like that because you don't want to use the same guy every time.
Right.
So, let's talk about the mighty Thor.
Yeah. Who?
The first issue we've got to talk about of this is it's from Journey into Mystery number 125, the last issue of the series, because the following issue would be retitled just Thor.
Cool.
So this is the last issue to carry the banner of Journey into Mystery. And I think Thor debuted in Journey into Mystery like 83, something like that. So anyway, that feature had been running and Thor took over the book. So, but at any rate, the lead story is called When Meet the Immortals, written by Stan Lee, penciled by Jack Kirby, and inked by Vince Colletta. And what's going on here with Thor?
Okay, his witch doctor he found a Norn stone.
Yeah.
And turns him into a dreaded demon.
Yeah.
No name, just demon.
Yeah, he's going to be a throwaway character.
Yeah.
But he's got power, and, Thor's
literally. He's thrown away on the second page.
Yes.
And they're fighting. Pretty cool fighting. Let's see. But he has an army full with all these advanced weapons. It's really cool cannon. Good old Kirby.
Yep.
It's a Kirby cannon.
Yep. So anyway,
and then this fighting's going on, and here's Hercules waking up, and he sees a train, and she doesn't know what that means.
Right.
There is a tree limb, a huge tree across the tracks. So he goes down and throws the tree away. So let me sleep. And they said, where are you going? To the city. And I love this. Hercules, I've always loved cities. It is there where the crowds, where reveling and merrymaking are ever to be found.
Now, I don't think it's any coincidence that the Marvel Comics Hercules looks a lot like Steve Reeves or Reg Park, the movie Hercules.
Yeah, I don't like his hat, but everything else I like about him.
Yeah, and it's funny because Hercules is kind of like, he's like Thor, and he's noble in his way, but he's rougher around the edges, and he's less responsible.
Yeah, he's more fun-loving.
Yeah,
you don't see Thor kicking back and drinking a six-pack or something like that.
But Hercules is all about that. He's just all about carousing and drinking and having a good time.
Yeah, and he's good at heart, but it's kind of really cool. I kind of enjoy that.
Yeah,
sort of.
And we'll see as we're going to look at Thor over the next few weeks. Hercules is around quite a bit, and really their relationship is much like Spider-Man and the Human Torches. They have kind of a rivalry that's sort of.
They're frenemies.
They're kind of frenemies, but they become great friends and allies, actually. But they're different, but also they have a lot in common.
Yeah.
And so anyway, Thor defeats the demon.
Yeah, pretty easily.
Yeah, and then when he goes back to Asgard.
Oh, and something's gone up. Odin's really ticked off. He finds out about
Jane Foster.
Yeah.
And he's like, "You can't marry a mortal. I forbid it because I'm Thor or I'm Odin." Balder the Brave is there, who is awesome. Yeah. I love Balder.
So he's Odin. Was ritual of steel and stuff like that. And so what's going on with that? And
he's gonna make Thor go through the ritual of steel.
Yeah, and if you win, you can't go back to Earth, and you lose, you die. And it says, well, why? That's a Hobson's choice if there ever was one.
Right.
So Thor fights everybody in Valhalla.
Did you say not in Valhalla?
What is it?
Valhalla is the land of the dead, so.
Oh yeah,
the honored dead. So he's fighting all the folks in Asgard.
Asgard, yeah. Okay.
So back on Earth, Hercules is just hanging out with all the chicks at the restaurant.
Yeah, and he gets on a guitar, and someone says, "Oh, look, he's a folk singer." Oh, Someone tries to rob the restaurant.
And Thor hits him with a guitar.
Yeah.
Just like El Kabong. Remember from the Hanna-Barbera cartoons? Quick Draw McGraw was kind of a Zorro-type character also. He had a Zorro alter ego called El Kabong, and he hit people over the head with a guitar or a banjo or something.
Huh. Interesting. Okay.
You don't remember that?
No, I remember the character.
Okay.
Alright, so they shoot at... Hercules beats up some of them. One of the other bad guys shoots at Hercules, and that ticks off Hercules. They try to run him over, and Hercules just smashes the car to bits. It's really cool. Jane looks down and says, ooh, this is interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's ticked off at Thor because he hasn't come back and he didn't say goodbye.
Right. Didn't say when he was coming back either.
Yeah.
So she thinks, hey, this guy's pretty cool. Mm-hmm. And there's a movie producer guy trying to get Hercules to come and make movies, which is so funny because those Hercules movies were riding pretty high in the 60s.
Yeah, they're made in Italy and they're
wonderful.
Fairly cheap.
They're cheap, but they're terrific fun. I have watched a whole slew of these. Steve Reeves only did 2 of them, and then Reg Park did a bunch.
Yeah.
And then there's all these Son of Hercules, or Son of Samson, or Machista. You know, all these guys.
They're all Machista. They're not Hercules, they're Machista.
Okay, well.
Because in Italy. So, and they just changed the name because who heard of Machista? I think it was a early silent film that he was in, and I forgot, maybe it was like Ben-Hur or something like that, but and got super popular, and then they just made all the movies about it.
But in the 60s there was so many of those Hercules type movies, sword and sandal type of stuff, and they're really a lot of fun. I've seen a whole bunch of those movies. They're great.
Okay, so here comes... So Hercules throws the movie producer into the trash can. He takes off with Jane, and here comes... Okay, Thor is trying to get out of Asgard, and he's beating up people left and right.
Yeah.
Got some cool house ads. Coming of Galactus.
Oh, yeah, that's like one of the most classic issues of the Fantastic Four
Phil
ever.
the Hunt and Nick Fury, Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah, Spider-Man, A Strange Tales. These are really big. This is like, what is it, 1960-something?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I can't remember what year. I think it's 1966. So it's a pretty great, big year for Marvel. So, anyway.
And so...
so Thor gets out of Asgard and he goes back to Earth.
With Heimdall.
Heimdall. Yeah.
Okay.
You know it's Heimdall because he has an H on his shield.
Right. Yeah, I'm bad with names today, sorry. I'm always bad, but today I'm even worse. How do you start? Heimdall is well, not anybody pass.
Right.
And Thor says, well, what can I do? So it makes a really loud noise. Heimdall has very sensitive hearing, and it deafens him. So Thor gets out.
Thor just scoots on past him. So he goes back to Earth, he finds Jane, and there's Hercules. And so they have the big fight over the chick for the rest of this and like all of next issue, which we have.
Yeah. They're at a malt shop and he's drinking a milkshake.
Hercules is.
This liquid is like nectar of the gods. And he's right. Milkshakes are great.
They are good.
So, alright, so we got a fight coming next issue.
Wait, is there a Tales of Asgard backup story? Yes.
Oh, yes, there is.
Oh, good. Now, these Tales of Asgard, they take place in an unspecified time previous to whatever's going on in Thor, in the main story. So just that's all you need to know. But this one's called The Queen Commands, and Stan Lee wrote it, just dialogue. But Jack Kirby penciled it, Vince Colletta inked it. What's going on? Is it the Queen of the Trolls?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
So it's Thor and Loki and the Warriors 3.
Yeah, who's the guy with no shirt on?
I don't remember.
Is it Jason of the Argonauts? Because this is the Argos.
I don't know.
Yeah. So
they
they're
might not
attacked
be
by trolls.
the Argos. You know what I mean?
Yeah. They're being attacked by flying trolls.
Man.
And the trolls don't kill anybody. Although they're going to sting Volstagg, which is one of my favorite characters.
He is great. I love the Warriors 3. Volstagg the Voluminous. Hogun the Grim and Fandral the Dashing.
Yeah.
And they really live up to their sobriquets. They're terrific.
Yeah. So there's kind of like a truce, and then Loki gets in and he shoots a big mortar with potion and knocks him down.
Knocks the trolls down.
Trolls, and then they run. So Loki has this great expression of, I don't know, smirkiness or something.
Yeah.
It is great. Loki's another great character.
Oh, yeah.
And he said, hey, I got rid of him. You didn't. You're a coward. So,
Thor wouldn't be half as fun without Loki. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know if he'd be reading Thor. And definitely Loki was the most favorite character in the Thor movies.
Yeah, he really stole the show. I mean, as you know, Helmsworth is great as Thor, don't get me wrong, but Loki's great in those
They
movies.
found a great one. Yeah.
Yeah, and I never would have thought Loki would be cool in the movies.
Yeah, I mean, just because I like him, I expect no one else to like him. So,
Right.
Well, you know, he's a villain. Don't get me wrong,
But some
it's a
characters,
great villain.
I never would have imagined that character translating well to the screen. Because I always think about comic book Loki, and I'm like, someone has a better vision than me, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. So Loki is hamming it up, rubbing Thor's face in his defeat, and
yeah.
And then Loki is taken up
By the trolls, right?
Yeah, and taken to the Queen, and that's the end of the show. It's only 5 pages, so.
Right, and that would be serialized, and I think we do have the next part of
Yes,
that, though.
we do.
So the main story, though, in Thor number 126, the lead story is "Whom the Gods Would Destroy," written by Stan Lee. It's really dialogue. Stan's dialoguing, because the plot and the art is really by Kirby, and Vince Colletta inking. But this is great. The whole issue is it's Thor's jealous fight with Hercules over Jane.
Yeah.
And the dialogue, I'd say these are some of the most fun comics to read because this might be Marvel Comics at their best because it's just super fun. Great dialogue, great action, great art, great story.
It is fantastic. Whom the Gods Would Destroy, they first make mad, is the entire quote.
Okay.
It's by Longfellow, Mask of Pandora.
Oh.
Prometheus is saying it.
Ah.
So, there's also Whom the Gods Would Destroy is a Thor from 1988.
Okay.
So, big issue, I guess. So.
Okay, well, I'm sure that title has been used a few times because it's just so great.
Yeah, on Wikipedia, it's used about 4 times, and Marvel was 2 of them.
Okay. Well, there you go. So, the splash panel is just Thor and Hercules fighting.
It's just super awesome.
Yes.
Hercules has this mace, but it's nothing compared to the hammer.
To mighty Mjolnir. Well,
I'm not even going to try to pronounce that.
Why? Mjolnir. That's easy. 2 syllables. Mjolnir.
No. Okay.
Every time you just say Thor's hammer, I'm going to say Mjolnir.
Okay, that's fine then.
Man.
Okay, so people don't know the name. So.
I don't know why it's hard for you.
It is. Words are hard.
Man. Where'd you learn to read? Dogpatch USA?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Huge fight. They fight and fight and fight and fight.
They do. It's just they're fighting and like talking tough in their God speak through the whole issue.
Dim-witted clod. If I be humorless, it is not without reason. Oh man.
And it's so funny because you think if you're fighting somebody in real life, people don't talk that much, and usually it's just a streak of blankety blank.
Yeah. Yeah. If Marvel had did the Battle of Stalingrad, you'd be a million words talking. Oh man, that'd be interesting idea.
Yeah, but I mean, Hercules throws a Big Mac truck at Thor and all this stuff.
Yeah. Oh, and it's gorgeous, beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, Hercules is more reckless because he doesn't care about property damage because it's just things mortals made. Who cares?
Yeah, and it's really it's cheaply made too.
Right?
Yeah. Now they fight on top of a subway. Thor gets them off, and they fight. Now they fight in a junkyard.
Yeah.
And they just have fun with everything.
Yeah, it's great.
Let's see.
Thor rips the treads off of some tank-like thing and
caterpillar.
Yeah, thing. and uses it like a whip against Hercules and.
Man. Yeah, cool fight. Very cool.
Yeah.
Odin's watching, and Odin says, "Well, I'm going to mess him up." So
he takes away some of Thor's power.
Half of his power.
Yeah, and so then Hercules gets the upper hand.
Not before he says, "Thou blustering braggart, and blabbering, blustering, boastful baboon." Baboons are the stupidest of the apes, too. According to Homer Simpson.
I think they're actually like the most vicious of the apes.
No, the chimpanzee is.
That's crazy, but yeah.
Ask any Jane or Tarzan. They get really mean.
Yeah. But baboons are dangerous.
Oh, everything's dangerous. I guess. I don't know.
I never hurt myself taking a nap, so not everything's dangerous.
People died taking naps.
Okay.
Actually,
no, I take that back. I fell off the bed one time, and I got stuck on the other side next to my wall. Cool.
Some more house ads. Fantastic Four. If this be Doomsday.
Okay, what number is that, though? Was that 43 or something?
49.
49. So 48, 49. This is that epic with Galactus coming. And the Silver Surfer and all that. That's like one of the most classic stories in Marvel Comics history.
Oh, the Molten Man. I may have read that one.
Yeah, I think so. What is that? Spider-Man number 35?
Yeah.
That's one of it's. There's only a few more issues before Ditko leaves Marvel. Mm-hmm. I think number 39 is the last Ditko Spidey. 39 or 40.
That's super cool.
Yeah. So, but anyway, back to the fight with Hercules and Thor.
We get a lot of thought bubbles too, and Hercules says, "Man, this guy's tough, and that hammer of his is a lot better than my stupid old mace."
Well, the mace is just a thing. I mean, Thor's hammer is
actually a mace. Thor's hammer is magical.
Yeah, it's just got all kinds of stuff. Hercules' mace can't do anything really, other than just bonk somebody with it. Yeah. So,
and then Hercules notices that Thor's power is gone, or half gone.
Yeah.
So hey, let's just call it quits. It's a good fight. And Thor keeps fighting and gets knocked out.
Yeah, and is humiliated in front of everybody. Now everybody likes Hercules better than Thor. Thor's washed up.
Yeah, some kids making fun. For crying out.
This guy saved the world and your life a bunch. And you're going to be like that to him? Really?
But people are.
Yeah, I know.
There's so many heroes that are, people like to tear down heroes.
Yeah.
And for stupid crap, too.
Yeah.
Oh, man. I don't know. That makes me mad. But,
And I think maybe this is speaking to that.
Yeah, but Jane's sorry that she went with Herc, and she's talking to Thor.
Yeah.
But now Thor is sick and tired of... What's up?
So anyway...
Yeah, people keep bugging us in the bunker. Sorry, guys.
So what's going on with Thor and Jane? Is he mad at her or something?
Yeah, he's really mad. He's mad about everything. He's a coward, and he's not the man he once was. But still, half of Thor is better than most everybody else, I would think.
Yeah, but he's going to have to endure like the trial of the gods or something because of Jane. That's coming up, I think.
Odin tells Jane to go after him.
Which is weird. Why would he bother if he doesn't want her with him?
Yeah, I've never... Okay.
Odin seems to be quite mercurial for someone so wise, in his motivations and thinking.
Does he expect Thor not to have a girlfriend? Or,
Well, he wants her to be with the Lady Sif, who is his betrothed, or destined to be with her, and she's an immortal like Thor. It would make more sense because Jane you saw the Highlander. Yeah. Jane will get old and die, and then Thor will be sad. It won't work.
Yeah, but love doesn't work that way. So
Yeah.
you would think that Odin would know this.
But since his dealings with mortals are just being worshipped as a god, they're limited to that. He doesn't know everything, even though he's all-wise Odin.
Yeah, although the gods acted kind of crazy, too.
The gods must be crazy.
Great movie.
Yeah. So, backup story is, The Summons. And this is continuing the Tales of Asgard from last issue with the Queen of the Trolls and all that jazz. She's got Loki, Thor shows up, Stan Lee wrote it, Jack Kirby penciled it, Vince Coletta inked it.
Alright, yeah. The Queen, I mean, she has craziest headdress. And
Yes.
she's just gorgeously drawn.
Yeah, the Norn Queen, she's a babe. Oh, no, it's not the Norn Queen.
It's Troll.
The Troll Queen. I'm thinking of
Queen of Flying Trolls.
Right. I was thinking of the Norn Queen, Carnilla.
Yeah, they don't look like trolls. They look like guys with wings. So.
Yeah, well...
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's different kinds of trolls, to be honest.
Yeah, I guess so. Alright, so she has captured Loki, and she says, if Thor will marry me, I'll let you all go. And then Loki says, oh, why don't you do that? That sounds good to me. And Thor grabs Loki and runs. And then Odin tells him to come back. We have this thing with Volstagg.
Yeah, with Volstagg.
Yeah, and he's saying, row harder. And this is, why aren't you rowing? Oh, I might get a blister on my finger, then I can't use my sword. And so the captain puts him to work. And,
yeah. Volstagg.
Yeah.
I like the Warriors 3 quite a bit. They're fun.
Alright, so Odin says, the battle's here in Asgard. So,
yeah, so... Right. We're not going to get the rest of that story, unfortunately.
Too bad.
But, oh well. So we've got one more comic to talk about today.
I should call it that.
Well, yeah. It's more Charlton.
And this is the worst one yet.
Yeah?
It's awful. And it's poor... The drawing's not bad, but the stories are just bad.
Yeah, well, let me give a little intro to it. This is Unusual Tales number 35, and I think this is... probably from 1962 or ish, right around there. And the lead story is called "The Face of Sadu," written by Joe Gill, and art by Bill Molyneux. And yeah, meh.
Yeah. Okay. These people try to go help this New Guinea tribe, and they're being Sadu, because they say pretty Sabu. And
it's called a misprint. It's a mistype.
No. Sabu is a word for a pretty girl, I guess.
Oh, okay.
So, which confused me.
Yeah, but see, also Charlton was known for having errors in their scripts or typos. Mm-hmm. Joe Gill would forget the name of a character that he's calls a character one thing at the beginning of a story, and his name is something different at the end, and it totally affects the impact of the story.
Yeah. Okay.
So, but he just cranked stories out, and some of them are good, and some of them are crap.
Like this one. That someone could edit and quickly enough to. But
it's Charlton. Everything's low rent.
Okay. So Sadu is this evil-looking witch doctor.
Yeah, boy, he looks goofy.
Yeah, he's got the headdress, and he's got pointed teeth, and so he meets him, and the people say, well, Sadu will cure us, and Sadu cures him. And they don't want the Western ways. Sadu sees the beautiful blonde lady, and he gets interested, and so there's another guy there, the son of the doctor, trying to help him, and he says, right, kiss me. And so she doesn't want to, but she kisses him anyway, so that protects her from Sadu.
Mm-hmm.
And Sadu shakes his rattles over it. And then there's some more shenanigans. Sadu stops this, stops that. And then she gets attacked by a snake, and Sadu saves her. And the happy couple get married, or are already married, because Sadu married them when they kissed. And so Sadu was a good guy. And I says, huh? What? For crying out loud.
What was the point? What was the lesson or whatever?
Because you're an evil, scary Witch Doctor is not so bad. I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird.
I guess it's kind of respect other cultures type of thing, or it definitely.
Joe Gill did write a lot of stories drinking at work.
Yeah,
I'm not even kidding. So
it didn't hurt Hemingway and all those guys. But.
Yeah, Joe Gill wasn't Hemingway, but he was great friends with. Am I thinking of Joe Gill? With Dashiell Hammett, I think.
Yeah, another big drinker.
Yeah. Unless I'm misremembering that entirely, but it might have been Mickey Spillane. Mickey Spillane, not Dashiell Hammett.
Really, Mickey Spillane.
I think Joe Gill became a comics writer because of his friendship with Mickey Spillane. And Mickey Spillane.
I thought you were talking about Hemingway.
No.
For instance, I said, huh?
No.
Okay.
And Mickey Spillane wrote comics in the Golden Age too.
Yeah.
Isn't that cool?
Yeah. Yeah. Mickey Spillane's kind of important as he brought detective work to lower working class.
Well, and
people.
he brought the pulp kind of story mainstream acceptability. You know what I mean?
They weren't accepted at first because they're very violent and sexy, but the working class hero, and there's a lot of fist fights and good looking broads, and I don't know. I give my hats off to him, but that's just weird. All right, next is a challenge.
Right, it's just a one-pager.
Which don't get sick in space. The end.
Yeah, but nice art by Rockmaster Serio on that one page.
Actually, you're right. It is very nice.
Yeah, Master Serio could be good. I mean, at this period of Charlton, the only guy they've got as an artist that's really great is Ditko, and we haven't seen any of his stuff at this time. But yeah. So the next story is called No Can Do, or No Can Do, The Magician, written by Joe Gill, at least probably, and art by Rockmaster Serio.
Yeah, we have a musician who's really bad. And magician, excuse me. Sorry.
It's okay. Well, they are different words.
Yes, they are. You're
okay.
Right. Oh, that's why I apologize.
It's okay.
They are, he's bad. He almost saws his assistant in half. It's kind of... So he gets fired. He is can do, the magician, but he has a parrot that says no can do, and so everyone calls him no can do.
Which is, man.
Yeah. Well, which is kind of true, too.
Mm-hmm.
He tries again. Another assistant gets her dress caught in the nail, and so he gets fired. And tomatoes. I have never seen tomatoes thrown at anybody in real life.
No, but you see it in movies and things all the time.
I guess they did in the vaudeville. Okay.
Yeah. Well, and you have to think, like, even at this time, vaudeville is done. Mm-hmm. And, like, you see so many stories of the vaudevillian performer, the stage musician, or the ventriloquist, like, struggling to, like, make ends meet because vaudeville is over in the age of television.
Yep.
And those acts are a dime a dozen.
Yeah.
And they're...
Yeah.
So it's interesting that there's so many stories like that, especially in the 50s and 60s, kind of commenting on that change.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, magicians aren't as big as they used to be either, and that's
what I mean.
Yeah. It's so
No Can
all
Do,
that stuff. Yeah.
No Can Do gets mugged by a homeless person,
and who hypnotizes him
into thinking he's a great success.
Yeah, and then he gets his wallet stolen.
Yeah.
And then the cop comes and chases him. But No Can Do, I don't know, he thinks he's doing magic, real magic.
Yeah.
And he's getting really big and really popular.
But it's all just in his mind.
Right. So, yeah, they catch the guy who hypnotized him and said, Can Do always believe in himself and never know why. And that's it.
Yeah, but really it's all a lie.
Yeah,
he didn't turn it around and become a success.
It's a placebo effect.
Oh, I know.
And
but
if the placebo effect works, then it's not a placebo.
I know, but he just had an illusion that he had success. He's basically a bum like the guy who hypnotized him.
Yeah, but he's a rich bum and he's successful. So
only in his mind.
No. He's actually really successful.
That's not what I got when I read that story.
Yeah, that's what I got.
I got that it was a trick, that he didn't really turn it around. He just allowed him to have those happy thoughts, that he was doing good. He had the peace of mind.
Good evening, Mr. Kando. Hear you're a smash hit these days. That's the cop.
Okay.
So.
Okay, I misread that then.
That's true. All right.
So the next story is called The Land of Platinum.
Indeed, this is an unusual tale. This kid believes in a land of platinum, and he goes to it at night.
Hang on, let me give the credits. Joe Gill wrote this, and penciled by Charles Nicholas, and inked by Sal Trapani. So it's a short story, but
the credits are longer than the story.
Okay.
Because the kid goes back and forth. His parents don't believe him, so
it's like in a land in his imagination. There's clowns there.
His clown gives him Ruby, so here, give his father if they need it, only if he needs it. And his father says, I got a new job, so I don't need it. So, the end.
But Dad was struggling financially
beforehand.
And it's just kind of a kid escaping into fantasy because the real life is getting kind of harsh.
Right.
So that's interesting. And so I think we have the last story in this issue.
This is even weirder.
Is The Hiding Room. Joe Gill wrote this, and we've got art by Bill Molno.
Yeah, all right. This real jerk. Treats people bad, and then he starts digging in his basement.
Okay.
And I'm not sure why. And why is he wearing
this weird hat?
This weird. It looks like a pimp hat with bottle glasses. Bottle thick glasses, and
it does look like a pimp hat. Yeah.
Yeah. It's huge yellow thing.
Yeah.
And he's digging, and he hears about. Because he's heard about this civilization in the earth.
Yeah.
And he discovers it, and then he disappears. And the end.
Yeah, it's crappy, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes I enjoy Charlton, but man, what a lousy issue.
That was the worst we've done. It's just not a good story.
No, and it was just a bunch of not good stories.
Yeah, not a good one. Some good drawing, but a comic is more than its drawing.
Well, yeah, it's got to be well written. It's got to have some.
It's got some kind of a plot. They didn't have plots. They went off nowhere. And it's sort of a very simple plot, and that's it. And it's not a very good one at that.
So that was just a junky comic book.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right, by the bristling beard of Odin.